Hi everyone. Okay, so I'm going to do a tutorial today on how I use makeup to cover up acne and blemish prone skin. I'm really nervous because I'm not a makeup artist at all. I've just got acne prone, blemish prone skin, and so I know how to cover my makeup up, and hopefully that would help other people because I watch a lot of vlogs, a lot of tutorials about how to do it, and that's how I've learned. And I think I do an okay job. So, to start off with, I always apply a primer. I have quite oily skin, particularly standard T-zone, here. So I use the Clinique Super Primer, which is fantastic. It's just the universal one. So the super primers, they have 5 or 6. They're fairly inexpensive, and this one's just the universal one. It's really, really good. They have purple ones that cover up or that give you radiance. And like I say, I just use this one, it's great. And then where I've got my philosophy from is literally lifted from Lisa Eldridge, because her videos have been the most helpful to me, and she says that you should assess your face. If you've got spots in 20% of your face, cover up that 20% and then leave the good parts of your face to kind of shine through a little bit. And that's not to say don't put foundation on them. So start off with a lighter base. So I use Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum Gel Foundation, which gives you it gives a good coverage, but for me it feels almost light. It feels like a primer. It's a gorgeous texture. It lasts well. It doesn't mess with my skin. My skin really likes it. So I start off with this on my whole face. A pea-sized amount. And I just use my fingers for this, obviously washed. I've actually not got my glasses on, so this might be quite interesting. So I've kind of just focused it on the lower area of my face because that is the problem area. So once that's all blended in, I'm actually going to have to put on my glasses for this because I'm not going to be able to see at all. My lips are a bit dry, so I'm going to put some 8-hour cream on. I try to always put a bit of 8-hour cream on at the start of my makeup routine, because then by the end of it, if I want to put lipstick on, my lips are moisturised. So then what I would normally do is maybe just leave it there, but if my skin's playing up, then I'll add a heavier foundation just to the areas that need it. So in this case, it's here, and it's normally there. Sometimes I get spots on my nose or forehead, but rarely. It's normally just around my mouth and my chin, which is just a great area to have spots. Super sexy. So a foundation that I really like is MAC Studio Sculpt, and this one is in NC25. Just putting on to the areas that need it, which is just the lower half. I'm doing it with my fingers. Sometimes I do it with a brush, but like I just said, it's a tricky foundation to put on with a brush, I think. And I think it's quite nice to put it on with your fingers because the heat of your fingers will obviously make it a bit easier to blend in. Just make sure you wash your hands. And then I'll just blend. So then, I'd say I'm fairly covered up now, but sometimes if there's any stubborn spots, which I often get, there's a few around, I will then conceal, and I'll always use concealer. I would normally just skip out this step. If my skin is okay, then I would just put on Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum Foundation, and then I wouldn't bother going over the top with any others. So then I would just conceal the areas that need it. So and then I will use a brush. This one is a Real Techniques concealer brush. It's really, really good. I really love Real Techniques brushes. There's another concealer that is amazing for spot prone skin, and that is Vichy and Dermablend have kind of collaborated, and they have a range of foundations, and they're kind of almost like pan sticks. They're really good, and they're about £16. So I would normally conceal under my eyes. I guess I should do that. It's a bit difficult when I can't really see anything. I have really dark under eyes and I just blend in with my fingers. There's different types of dark under eye circles, genetic and medical and whatever, but I have that type that Asian skins tend to have. I'm not Asian, but I'm half Arabic, so I have olive skin, very yellowy undertones, and I tend to get very dark under eye. Using my expert face brush from Real Techniques, I would then just pop a bit of powder on the areas that need it. Which for me is just here, because that's where it's spotty, and my forehead, which gets super duper shiny. I tend to leave my cheeks because they're quite dry. I don't really like to cover my whole face in powder to make it super matte. Oh, and I also do a tiny bit at the tops of my cheekbones, not under my eyes, but just at the tops of my cheekbones, just for when I start contouring. Then I guess I'm gonna go in and fill in my eyebrows. At the moment I'm using a really cheap eyebrow pencil from Rimmel. It's literally just a super cheap one. But another thing that I use quite a lot is the HD powder kind of palette quad. There's 4 shades in there you can mix them up so that you get a perfect match. That's much better, but I'm a bit lazy, so I'm just gonna fill in the gaps and just using a kind of feathering technique and emphasize the arch a little bit. I don't really care about being too precise because, well, eyebrows aren't precise, are they? Then to set them, I use this Model Co More Brows, which is actually fantastic. It's a really good colour, it's a really good little consistency, and I like the tiny little spoolie. So I take quite a lot of the product off. One thing that I do is, or spend a lot of time on, is pushing the front of my eyebrows in towards the other set, if that makes sense. So I don't make them all go one way. And there's mistakes here, but it doesn't matter because I'll clean up on those afterwards. So starting off at this part, just pushing it towards the other eyebrow, and then that'll do. I mean, I'm never going to look like Cindy Crawford, so, or Kate Moss, or any supermodel in fact, so I'm not too worried. And then I just use this lash wand from MAC, it's 204, this spoolie, just to take off any excess product. I always have a cotton wool bud, so just to clean up here, because I'm clearly trying to give myself a monobrow. So then I am going to start on my eyes. I have really oily eyelids, so I like to start with a MAC paint pot in Painterly, which acts as a sort of primer almost. It's almost like oyster coloured, and it's really thick. It's brilliant, I love it. So I just take a little bit of that on my MAC 239. Not all over my eyelid, just a bit over the crease. I also have quite hooded eyelids, so I don't worry too much about making everything neat, because as soon as I open my eyes you won't see it anyway. I guess that's a good thing about having hooded eyelids. A bit less work. And then I think today I'm going to go quite natural, which is pretty funny given that it probably will take me about half an hour to do my makeup. But I'm going to go quite natural and use this eyeshadow, which is a Bare Minerals eyeshadow. It's kind of a bronze colour. What's it called? Queen Tiffany. It's really pretty. It's quite natural. It's like a taupey bronze colour. Oh, I didn't mean to use that brush actually. Oh well, I'll use the same brush. I was going to use a slightly bigger one, but hey ho. It's a really sheer kind of wash of colour, so it's quite nice. I mean, I'm literally going to be in today making mince pies for Christmas. I'm going home to my mum's and I'm taking mince pies and some chocolate truffles as well. So I don't really care about putting too much makeup on. But I'm the sort of person, like most makeup enthusiasts, who just really enjoys the process of putting makeup on. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. And then actually with the same brush, because it's quite small, I am going to take a little bit under my eye. Okay, that's fine, that'll do. And then I think before I put my mascara on, I'm not really sure why I do it in this order. There's literally no reason behind it, no method behind my madness. I am going to do a bit of contouring using my Sleek palette it's a Faceform contouring and blush palette, and I have it in Fair. Because even though I'm not really fair, well, I am a bit fair at the moment, I just really love the blush colour. It's a total dupe for NARS Orgasm, which I have. In fact, I should probably get my blusher out to show you the difference between the two. See? It's so similar. Also, this is so angled. Never take a multiple stick from NARS on holiday with you because they just melt. That's why I didn't buy another one of these. I just thought, do you know what? This is like £9 for 3, so I'm just going to do this instead. So just using the contouring matte colour here, I'm just going to contour a little bit. It's a really nice big mirror. So just underneath my cheekbones, I'm just sort of circling to get a bit of shadow. I've done a post just on contouring and a review of this palette. It's about a week old. If you want to know a bit more about the palette, you want a bit more detail, then have a look at that on either twobackpacketeers.com or lucyloveslipstick.com. So then I'm just gonna use the blusher here, which is a kind of peachy toned blusher. It does actually look a bit better when I'm more tanned, but hey ho, I've started, so I'll commit to it and finish. Yeah, I've got really sallow skin, which when I'm pasty or tired or ill or whatever, I just look a bit jaundiced, and that's how I am at the moment. So for winter I'm really trying to use kind of rose tones and warm tones and bronzes and to perk myself up a bit. With my blusher, I like to kind of take it from here. I don't just plonk it in the apples of my cheeks, I take it up to the top of my cheekbones to kind of create cheekbones, if you like. You draw the eye up to the top, if that makes sense. I'm not going to highlight. I often do, and when I do highlight, I'll do it down the centre of my nose and on the tops of my cheekbones, but because I haven't put any powder on the centre of my nose, it's got a bit of highlight anyway, so I'm going to leave that. And then move on to my mascara. So, do you like how my eyelashes? Yes, I will. So using my Shoe Amura eyelash curlers, which are incredibly expensive, but very, very good. I'm just going to curl my eyelashes briefly. And then use my YSL Babydoll Mascara, which is fantastic. I absolutely adore it. When I apply mascara, I always put a mirror, do it with a hand mirror and put it kind of underneath, which is just a really weird angle, but I don't know what it does, but it just works. I think maybe it focuses you to really get into the root of your lashes, which is kind of the key to having great mascara, I believe. I'm actually not a big mascara fan. I think it might be because I'm a contact lens wearer and I just don't really like how it feels, even though, you know, I never get red eyes from it or get irritated from it, but I don't like the feel of like hard lashes. So using the cotton wool bud, I'm just going to clean up here, easy peasy, and then do the other eye. But I do find, going back to not liking mascara that much, I do find that it's one of the best ways to kind of make my face look a bit alive. God, my hair is so frizzy. I've got like a halo of frizz around it. Well, it's what I was born with. That's the curse I have to live with. It's not too bad a curse to live with after all. So weird how I would say universally every woman has her mascara face, which is normally like, it's a brilliant face. Don't know why we don't use it more in our daily lives. And then lastly, I would either apply a bit of lipstick or tinted lip balm, like this amazing Pixie Shea Butter lip balm in Ripe Raspberry, which is just gorgeous. It's such a beautiful shade and it's really, really pigmented. I'm kind of feeling like I want to be more natural. So I'm going to use my Dior Lip Glow, which is one of the best things in the world. I am almost running out and I want to cry. It works with the pH of your lips, so it will look different on everyone. If your lips are really pink like mine, then your lips will become even more pink. So that's what I'm going to use, but it looks really natural. And it's super low maintenance. And I think that's it. What a treat for the eyes. So, oh, and I think I was going to use another product. Oh well, never mind. I was going to define my eyes a little bit with the NARS, what colour is this? God, it's massively rubbed off. It's a long wearing eyeliner in a bronze shade. And I was going to define my eyes with that, but clearly I couldn't be bothered. So, and I don't think it's made that much difference to this tutorial, whether I put it on or not. So that was my covering up acne blemishes face tutorial. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, check out my blog lucyloveslipstick.com or the travel blog that I have with my boyfriend Ollie, twobackpacketeers.com. Thanks, bye bye.